Look, I get it. You just closed a major case. And things with your mother are complicated. And hey, you found the swordsman, and believe me, we are grateful and in no position to ask for a favor. But there's a killer taking us out one by one, so we need Cassandra Killjoy to get back to work. Once upon a time, there was nothing. No heroes, no villains, no gods, no monsters, no multiverse. Then, one character changed everything. One character inspired a whole genre, a whole industry. But then, there came a time where it really seemed like the world forgot what we owed to this character. But then, just like that, right when we needed him the most, the last son of Krypton returned. Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. I'm Erod and I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and welcome back to DCember. Now, on the last video, I talked about how nobody can agree when exactly the new DCU begins. But what if I told you that had everything gone to plan, that it was actually supposed to begin with a Superman movie? Way back when Disney fired James Gunn for tweets, and he jumped over to Warner Brothers, the very first franchise that they offered him was Superman. But he turned it down because what they wanted was a pseudo-sequel or a light reboot of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel movie. And James Gunn didn't feel comfortable meddling with somebody else's franchise, let alone somebody who was a close personal friend. So he went with Suicide Squad instead, as that franchise has a rotating cast and he could bring in his own cast of characters and do his own thing while still not meddling with David Ayer's movie. So James Gunn famously made The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker Season 1, which were both massive hits, and then at that point, Disney miraculously came to its senses, hired James Gunn back, and he made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which was also a massive hit. But then, right after that movie came out, he went right back to Warner Brothers, where along with Peter Safran, was made the head of the new DC Studios. And while the two were making their 5-year plan for this new universe, they unanimously decided that the first movie right out of the gate would be a Superman movie, because he is the foundation of the DC universe. Originally titled Superman Legacy, Gunn and Safran had every intention of auditioning directors to helm the project. But then, just like that, James Gunn came up with the entire story for the movie on his own, inspired by his terrible experience with Disney. So after much deliberation, it was decided that the best person to write and direct this project was Gunn himself. This decision was so sudden that in order for him to write the script on time for the movie to start production when it was scheduled to, he actually had to cancel a bunch of scheduled vacation days, including his own honeymoon. Now that is dedication. Reactions to his finished script were so positive that not only was it already being referred to as the definitive Superman movie, but the executives in charge of the project decided to retitle it Superman, as technically there has never been a movie with that title. And I know what you're thinking, what about the first Christopher Reeve movie? Well, the official title to that film is actually Superman the Movie. So there you go. And thus, this new franchise was off faster than a speeding bullet. The plot. 3 years after Superman became a public figure, his popularity begins to wane after he single-handedly stops a war between Jarhanpur and Balravia. His arch-nemesis Lex Luthor seizes the opportunity to further discredit Superman, take over a sizable chunk of Jarhanpur, and get actual permission from the US government to capture and possibly kill Superman. So in 1 week's time, Superman must clear his name, save Metropolis, stop a war, and make things right with his girlfriend Lois Lane, all the while fostering an unruly superdog. Yeah, it's not easy being Superman. Cast and characters. I have to start by giving a shout out to the breakout star of the movie, Krypto the Superdog. It was just absolute genius for James Gunn to portray him as a disobedient dog, as opposed to the perfect pup that we're used to. After all, he's a superpowered dog. Who in the world could stop him? And oh my freaking god, do I love Crypto. Him being one of the first things that you saw in the trailer was a clear sign that this movie was going to be different.
Crypto! What the hey, dude?
Now, as far as our leads are concerned, usually when you sit down to watch a reboot and new actors are taking on old roles, there's a slight period of adjustment. Now, as far as I'm concerned, in my experience, I didn't go through any period of adjustment. To me, these actors were the characters from the first moment that they appear on screen. Starting with Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan. She is the intrepid investigative journalist and perfect foil for the Man of Steel. Because while Superman does what needs to be done no matter the consequences, in her pursuit of truth, Lois thinks of nothing but the consequences.
Consider the consequences.
People were going to die!
Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. It takes an extraordinary actor to play a character that can go toe-to-toe with an icon. And damn did Nicholas Hoult nail it, playing the hateful, conceited, and xenophobic Lex Luthor with expert precision.
Your obsession with me is getting a little creepy.
Don't worry. Tall, dark, and Martian isn't my type.
Superman, aka Clark Kent, played by David Corenswet. My god, what an inspired choice. This man was born to play this character.
I screw up all the time, but that is being human. And that's my greatest strength.
Favorite scene. This movie is just one awesome scene after the other. It's extremely hard to pick just one, so here are some honorable mentions. The intro, perfectly establishing that yes, Superman can be hurt. And what makes him great is not that he's indestructible, but that he won't stop fighting no matter what.
Sir, you are only 83% restored to health. You must rest.
No can do, 4. I gotta get back to the fray.
The kaiju battle, perfectly showcasing what sets Superman apart from all the other metahumans.
I was hoping we could capture it and take it to an intergalactic zoo, or at least euthanize it less painfully.
Come on, bro. Don't be such a wuss.
Clark and Lois's anniversary, just beautifully establishing who these characters are, in a scene that effortlessly flows like silk, from a romantic rendezvous to a full-on argument, which is expertly driven by two extraordinary actors at the top of their game.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
The terrific assault. If you're not a Mr. Terrific fan by the end of this scene, you just don't have a pulse.
Oh,
But my favorite scene is Get the Toy, which showcases what I love the most about Superman. No matter the odds, he always finds a way.
Brain beats brawn.
Favorite line. One quick honorable mention to...
I can help. I don't need your help. I'm Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, you tell him, Michael. But my favorite line is one that perfectly summarizes this movie.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
Punk rock was counterculture, the next generation taking a stand against the previous one. But in a world where apathy, cynicism, cruelty, and hatred have become acceptable, caring is most definitely the new punk rock. Epic epilogue. It has now become commonplace for a comic book movie to tease the next one, and boy, did this one meet the standard. As we got an actual factual cameo from Millie Alcock as Supergirl, hungover and clad in a trench coat, just like we first see her in Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow, which is the comic book that will serve as the source material for her upcoming movie. And look, they already had me at Supergirl movie based on Tom King's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. But seeing Millie Alcock perfectly play the inebriated Kara, still suffering from the PTSD of witnessing the death of her entire world, increased my hype levels tenfold. Now all I can do is hope that the actual film lives up to the anticipation.
He sees the good in everyone, and I see the truth.
Final verdict. I've been a DC Comics fan since I was 7 years old. And I've been waiting all this time to say this. I love this movie. It is not just one of my favorite comic book films. It is not just my favorite DC film. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. For years, I've been perplexed by this asinine necessity to make comic book movies realistic, dark, and gritty. Why? They're comics! Comics are weird, and goofy, and relentlessly silly, and yet they can still tell brilliant, sophisticated, and relevant stories. This movie fully embraces the medium that inspired it, inviting the fantastic to stand side by side with the meaningful and topical, storytelling with one simple, beautiful message at the center of it. That it's okay to care. And when the world tells you otherwise, you plant your feet, you take a stand, and you never, ever, ever give up. Why? Because you're a punk rocker. 10 points on the badassitude meter. Don't forget to walk your super dog, make breakfast for dinner, and give it a watch. Until next time, I'm Erod, and I'm the Blockbuster Buster.